George Floyd was murdered. There's no question about it. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to be a genius. You don't need any kind of education to understand that if you put your weight, especially if you're a full-grown man, on someone's neck, that person won't be able to breathe. If you do that for almost 9 minutes, that person will die. So that's not even a question of if these cops should go to jail. The answer is yes. The question becomes, what do you do about racism? And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's nothing you can do about racism. The person out there who said that racist people aren't born, no one's born with hate, it had to start somewhere, so shut up. You're never going to end racism. But what you could do is stick these assholes back into the hole that they crawled out of. And it's very simple on how we do that. And some people will tell you the answer is, well, you need to go out and vote. Vote the right person in so that they can use our tax dollars properly. And that's true. You should go out there and vote the right people into office so that they could use our tax dollars properly. Like, I don't know, training the police officers correctly. But the real answer to racism is actually a simple answer. But I'm sure once I tell you all, no one's really going to want to do it. And no one's going to believe it. But I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. You talk about voting people in, you talk about tax dollars, that's fine. What nobody ever talks about, though, is private dollars. What you do with the money that you make that's not taxed and goes into your bank account. Everybody wants to have that nice big house. Everybody wants that nice fancy car. Everybody wants those $300 sneakers. You want to go to this place and that place and here and there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? When you spend your private dollars on these things, guess who profits from that? Racist rich America. So you tell me, if you're out there protesting, and some of you are rioting, some of you are looting, causing fires, anarchy, chaos, and this will last for days, maybe even weeks. But at the end of it, you go out there and you go buy that nice house, that fancy car, those expensive shoes, those diamonds and jewelry. You're funding that same rich, racist America. So who the hell would ever be interested in any kind of change if they're still taking your money? The civil rights movement really gained strength and took off when boycotting started. When you voluntarily slow down or stop profits, that's when people take notice. That's when real change comes about. We have a pandemic, we have uprising, we have racial tension in this country. Why do you think people like Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell are dying to get this economy restarted? Are willing to risk people's lives to get this economy restarted? It's because you're taking money away from them. Look how many people, when the coronavirus hit, got rid of their stocks to save their money. They had a heads up and a warning that it was coming. You have to hit people where it hurts to bring true change, and that's their bank accounts. That's the only thing people understand. Watching their money dwindle. So we have to vote the right people in office so they could do the right things with our tax dollars. But you need to be more mindful of not just how you spend your money, but where you spend your money. And I'll give an example. Everyone loves to go to the movies. Everyone loves to watch movies, myself included. But we recently learned of, what the hell is that fat bastard's name? Harvey Weinstein. We learned about a man named Harvey Weinstein. And if you don't know who Harvey Weinstein is, then you really need to just come out of whatever shelter you live in. But we learned what a monster this guy was. But we all kind of supported this guy because we were paying for stuff he was involved in. If you've ever rented anything at a Trump Tower, apartment, an office, if you've ever stayed at a Trump Hotel, look who you were supporting. You're not going to change anything if people can still get your money. And I'm not talking about just racial discrimination and inequalities. I'm talking about poverty. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about healthcare. Across the board change, a change to the entire system. Real estate is one of the most racist things we have in this world. You don't believe me? Just take a look at countries, states, cities, neighborhoods. Here in America, most places have Chinatown, a Little Italy. Here in New York, we have a Little Guyana, if any of you know Liberty Avenue. Then you're going to look at me and you're going to go, well, people live where they can afford. And that's true. People live where they can afford. And they gravitate towards people who are like them. But that first part is the most important part. People live where they can afford. Who is more affected financially than minorities? Not to mention the fact that real estate is this segregated divide created by financial situations. That makes it much easier for people in government to gerrymander states. And if you don't know what gerrymandering is, again, crawl out of the shelter you live in. If you want to end this stuff, you're not going to end it. But we can, like I said, put these assholes back in the hole that they came from. You will be more mindful of where you spend your dollars. Just remember, companies have investors, and investors are usually, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, rich, racist America. How many are you actually willing to change the system?